Hey, what is going on, Libras? Butch Tarot here. I am going to do your 1 week read. It is a general read. Um, so it won't resonate with everyone. Take what resonates, leave the rest. With all that being said, let's get it. Universe, what message do we have for Libra? What is going on for Libra? All right, Libras. So the first thing, I'm getting some energy around you, but it's not good. Now, this may be someone that you already know or someone that's coming in, but like I said, the energy's not great. First and foremost, we have the Knight of Wands in reverse, so that player energy. I feel like this person is playing some sort of game. Hot and cold energy. I just feel like it just, something about them, like, I feel like there's a lot of right about this person from what you can see and what you can tell. But it always feels like there's something they're holding back. There's something they're not saying. The Seven of Swords. For some of you, it might not even be what they're not saying. It's just something doesn't feel right in general. There's going to be a little bit of a hesitation with this person, a little bit of internal struggle, a little for you. And with the Five of Wands, we got the Hermit as well, being in your head. But like I said, it's like a chocolate covered piece of dog food. You know what I mean? Like, it looks real tempting, but there's something. I don't even know. I didn't know what else. I had something in mind that was worse than that, but we'll keep it civil. I just feel like with this person, there's just something off. Like, I don't, like, it feels like you're on the same page with the Seven of Pentacles. It feels like everything's good. It feels some sort of way, but then there's this feeling, this nagging feeling that there's something wrong. But it's not what you can see. It's definitely something hiding in the shadows. It's definitely... it's not comfortable. There's just something not right. And I feel like it's going to eat at you. And sometimes when we get these feelings, we tend to overthink them or underthink them. Sometimes we think, okay, so there's definitely something wrong, and what could it be? And you think of all these things, and then sometimes we underthink it, like, oh, well, this thing doesn't feel right, but everything else is good. It's that type of energy. Now, I mean, I feel again, we're going back to that player energy. I feel like this is feels more like a confinement, like you're confined. This person only sees you in one way. So everything they act is just superficial. Like everything they do is superficial. It's for the presentation of it all. I mean, I feel like there's a third party energy with this person, so you may not be the only person they're doing this to. I mean, it's about learning to trust yourself and trust your intuition. This is what I'm seeing here. I mean, stick to your guns, Libra. That gnawing feeling, that voice inside your head, whatever way it comes to you, I feel like that's your intuition telling you. Trust yourself. Trust that feeling you get. I mean, don't let your guard down is what I'm feeling, because like I said, I don't feel an alignment between the two of you in a lot of different ways. I don't see an alignment romantically. I don't see alignment on even moral compass. Like I said, I feel like this person's playing games. I feel like this person has no idea what they want, even though they're selling the idea they know everything they want. And the more they seem like they know what they want, the less they do. It's like they're telling you the exact opposite of what they want. This person isn't looking for anything serious. With the King of Cups in reverse, again, not knowing what they want. They're making it real hard, though, because I feel like they're doing a lot of work. I don't feel like this is the first rodeo for this person. Like, we go back to the devil. I mean, I don't like this. So they don't want you to see what's right in front of them. And then we have the devil is that restriction, is that being tied down. Like, I mean, it's... And then we have the Tower card. I mean, I feel like this is a long ticket to a very disastrous end. It's like if you get on a roller coaster and the person tells you, okay, well, this is going to crash. So it's up to you whether you want to get on. But this is guaranteed 100% this roller coaster is going to crash. And that's what that feeling I'm getting right now. It's like, this isn't going to end well. I feel like that, though. And that's what I mean. I sometimes we got to trust our intuition. I've been saying that a lot lately. Trust your intuition, but like I said, I don't feel like this person's changing. I don't feel like this person... Like, you're not going to save this person. Sometimes we get in a situation where, someone's a certain way. We know it. We can feel it. We know what we should do, but we ignore it because we try to help them, or, because we feel some sort of way for this person, or we feel like there could be a future. So we kind of put ourselves in a very dangerous place. I mean, we have the Five of Cups in reverse. Like, not wanting to see the negatives here. So, we get in situations sometimes we don't want to see the bad things because the good things are so good. But, I mean, we can't ignore it. Everything here, I mean, the hot and cold energy with this person, that lack of consistency, first of all. It's a true telltale of a player energy, or a manipulating energy, because they can't be consistent, so they can't give it to you 100% of the time. Someone that's authentically a good person is a good person all the time. They can be consistent in it because it's natural. It's them. It's like if you think about playing a character with a different accent. Sometimes you got to take a break because the accent starts to break, and then your real way of talking comes out. I was always amazed by that, by the way. But that's the feeling here. But like I said, trust your intuition now more than anything. And sometimes, like I said, it's going to tell us things we don't want to hear. You know, like I said, for a lot of reasons, this person seems like a good person, but I feel like it's all a facade. It's not real. You know, it's like buying a fake painting, and you know it's a fake painting, but you buy it anyway at full price. It just doesn't make any sense. It's just like I said, and with fake painting, it's all not real. Like in the atmosphere when the painting, like that's what I think about when I think of paintings. I think about like the artist sitting there in their studio, wherever that they, you know, and whatever date they did that, everything that went into that painting, what they were thinking, all that. But when a fake, it's fake. It's not real, and everything after that isn't real. It can't be real because you already know it's fake. With this person, I mean, we have Capricorn, we have Virgo, we have Taurus, we have some Sagittarius, we have Cancer and Scorpio, and some Gemini. I'm an optimist. I'm a Sagittarius. I'm an optimist. The best thing about finding out that someone isn't the one is you can cross that person off your list, and the list gets a little bit narrower. And I know what you're thinking. There's, what, 7 billion people in the world, or 8 billion? I don't even know anymore. It seems like it's growing really fast, but you get the gist. But when you find that person isn't the person for you, now you know that that's one less person on that list. And I don't feel like you're ever going to get through 1 billion people, but my point is, I always try to look for something good. Because if you find something good, then it's not all bad. That was the most optimistic thing I could say, I guess. But like I said, sometimes my sister dated a guy, and he seemed like a nice guy. When she met him, I didn't meet him until they were together for a while. But from what I heard from family, they said, oh, he's a nice guy, and he had a really good job. Like, he made really good money. And I love my sister, but I feel like we'll get to it. He had a nice house. You know, he was only young, too. But he was inherently wealthy. He had a good job because it was part of the family business. You know, good-looking guy. The first time I met him, and this is why I've always been in tune. First time I met him, I shook his hand. I didn't like it. I didn't know what it was. Couldn't put my finger on it. Didn't like him. You know, they dated for a while. And anyway, she had come over one year for Christmas, and they were in a fight or something, so he didn't come over. He went to his family's. And she came over, and we ended up, you know, just sitting around talking. And I remember we always had a close relationship, but she said, I have to tell you something, but you can't tell Mom. And I was like, all right. And she said, definitely can't tell Dad. And I was like, okay, tell me what's going on. And she told me that he's not who people think he is. And now, I don't want to, I'm not bad talking the guy because he didn't beat her, or he didn't, you know, he just wasn't who everybody thought he was. He put on a very fake, happy-go-lucky. She said he's just an asshole. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, he's just rude. But he's consistently rude. He talks to like everybody that way. He has like this mentality that he's better than everybody. I said, well, you know what I mean? Like, what does he say to you? She's like, he's not really that mean to me, but I can't be with someone that's mean to other people. Like, I mean, the way she said it, it was basically like he was still kind of nice to her, as nice as he could be. But she said as, time went on, it started to fade, and he was starting to be more kind of like that with her. And to go back to what I was saying, not to shit talk my sister, but I feel like she stayed in that relationship a little bit longer because she had a good life. Like, and sometimes that's hard to walk away from. I get it. I mean, she was getting her nails done, something she wasn't used to. She was getting her nails done every couple of weeks. She was getting her hair done. She, had nice clothes, stuff she really didn't have. Like, growing up, we were just kind of middle class. And I think that kind of kept her there longer, but it got to a point where she said, I don't know if it's worth it. She said, I'm afraid I'm going to have a kid with him because then I won't be able to leave. Then there is no exit strategy. And she said, I don't want to be tied to him. And I was like, what are you talking about? You don't want to be tied to him. You don't want to have a kid with him. Then why are you with him? And she didn't really come out and tell me, but that's the gist I got. She's with him because it was a comfortable life and she didn't want to give it up. But she wasn't happy. And I just told her, I said, if you're not happy, you're not happy. And if you can't be happy with this person, then you're never going to be happy. It's nice to have nice things, but if you're not happy, what's the point? I said, first of all, you being with him, that means you can't be with anybody else. And that means you can't find the happiness that you're missing. And I'm like, are you okay with knowing that, yeah, you're going to be taken care of financially probably for a while, but that you're not going to know what really someone looking into your eyes and loving you is? Someone that treats you with respect and loyalty and, decency, and someone that's not fake. Because the first thing she said, like, he's not who he says he is. He's not that person. Because I know, like I said, from what I heard from people, they said he was, cheery guy. He was outgoing. But like I said, when I met him, I knew there was something wrong. And then when she told me that, I just, like, it all fell into place. But they had a nice place and it was comfortable, but she said, like, if I leave him, then I don't have anything because that was his place. That was his stuff. And she's like, I've been used to it. And she's like, I don't want to break up with him and then a year down the road get with some guy that's kind of broke and then just miss all those things and then have, like, regret or, have some kind of issue with this new guy because he can't give me those things. So it's hard, I feel like the only way you take comfort over love is if you never really experience true love. Because I feel like once you experience that, that's an addicting feeling. I mean, you want it all the time, and you wouldn't trade anything for it. I mean, with me and Rose, we had our ups and downs. We had some times where, we were working paycheck to paycheck, and sometimes even still, but we have each other. Anyway, I got real gushy there. Be good. Take care. Stay safe.